Hey everybody, it's Ron from Pick Dawgz, and this is Ron's Bank Shot Breakdown. We're going to go over 5 college basketball games for Monday, January 2nd, 2023. Now, if you like what you see, make sure to give this video a big thumbs up and subscribe to our channel. Don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. And if you're looking for my best bets, you can always find those at the Premium Picks tab at pickdawgz.com. Alrighty, let's get into it. Here are the games for Monday, January 2nd. First up, it's an Ivy League Conference matchup between Penn and Brown. This one's 7 o'clock Eastern on ESPN+. I do think Brown's defense is going to be the best unit on the court in this game, as they are number 1 in the country in defensive rebounding. They're top 100 in turnover percentage on defense, and they're 107 in the nation in adjusted defensive efficiency. And this Penn defense, although it's fared well so far this season, you look at the fact that Penn's not been able to force many turnovers, and teams are getting pretty good looks against Penn this season, yet the opposing teams aren't really shooting at a high percentage against the Quakers. I do think there's going to be some regression concerns when it comes to the Penn defense. Offensively, this Penn team has been fine, and they've played a pretty tough schedule overall. A few tough road games at the beginning of the season against Iona and Missouri. But I do think in this conference matchup on the road against a good Brown defense, like I said, number 1 in the country in defensive rebounding, I just don't like this matchup for Penn overall. So I think Brown's offense opens up a little bit against this Penn defense that I think is a little bit overrated right now. I'm going to take Brown here and lay the points. Next up, it's Rutgers and Purdue. This one's going to be 7 o'clock Eastern on the Big Ten Network. Now, I'm a big fan of this Rutgers team. We've taken them a few times on the Bank Shot Breakdown, and I think it's really difficult to lay this many points against a Rutgers defense that's, right now number 3 in the country in adjusted defensive efficiency. They force plenty of turnovers. They're very good on the perimeter, and, this has just been a really good season so far for Rutgers, but I still think that this Purdue team is really good this year. Obviously, they're 13-0. They're number 1 in the country in the AP polls, but I think it goes beyond that. Number 5 right now in adjusted offensive efficiency, a good defensive team as well. One of the best rebounding teams in the country, and there's no surprise there when you have a secret weapon in 7'4" Zach Edey, who I believe has been the best player in the country this year. He's a lethal scorer. He's actually improved quite a bit when it comes to his free throw percentage, which is really important because we know a lot of players and a lot of teams are going to foul Zach Edey quite a bit this season. Just because he's hard to defend, but he's up to 72.6% from the free throw line. You'll take that all day long from a 7'4" center. He's also 63.4% from in his 2-point field goals, so he's been scoring the basketball well. He's a good defender. Number 2 in the country, the Purdue Boilermakers are in offensive rebounding percentage, and I think Purdue's offense just too much in this matchup for Rutgers to hang in there. Like I said, a very good Rutgers defense. The offense, not so much. A team that's ranked right now 134th in adjusted offensive efficiency, 230th in effective field goal percentage. They're one of the worst teams in the Big Ten in three-point shooting as a team as well. And although Purdue struggled themselves three-point shooting, I think they just have enough scorers on this team, including Edey and others on this roster, to get the job done at home. So, Rutgers hasn't played too many road games this season. You look at their schedule, they've only played 2 true road games, and they were step-up games against some tough opponents in Miami, Florida, and Ohio State. They lost both of those games. I think they're going to lose this one as well. Give me Purdue laying the points at home. Next up, we see Southern taking on Texas Southern. This one's going to be 8:30 Eastern. And I think Texas Southern's got to be the favorite to win the SWAC conference yet again this season. We know they won the conference tournament last year, making it to the big dance and actually earning an NCAA tournament win over Texas A&M Corpus Christi in the play-in game, then losing to the eventual champions in Kansas. But Texas Southern, I think their defense has got to be the best, not only in the conference, but it's a defense that I think can compete with a lot of premier programs in the country. They bring back a lot of key pieces from last year's team, and they're playing with revenge in this spot, as they played Southern twice last year in the regular season and lost both of those games by double digits. And it was a big surprise, especially the home game, where Texas Southern was pretty sizable favorites in that game, losing it by double digits, and the defense really struggled in that game. I think this is a good spot for a revenge game here. Texas Southern has a nice upset win over Arizona State this season. They are a very experienced team that knows how to get things done in conference play. I think they grab a nice sizable win and cover in this game. So give me Texas Southern laying the points. Next up, we'll go to the Patriot League, as it's Boston University taking on Bucknell. This one's going to be 2 o'clock Eastern on ESPN+. I do think the wrong team is favored in this matchup. I like Boston U to win the game outright, but I'm going to take the points just in case. Boston U's on a 2-game losing streak, and they lost their conference opener against Navy in their most recent game, 75-58. But when you look at the numbers in that game, Navy shot 8 of 20 from 3, 40%, 21 of 23, so 91.3% from the free throw line. Compared to Boston U, they were 8 of 36, 22%, not going to get it done, and 6 of 14 from the free throw line, 42.9%. You're never going to win games with those shooting performances. But other than that, Boston U had a 17-7 offensive rebound advantage in that game. They had fewer turnovers in that game as well. So fundamentally, they played fine. It's just the shooting performances from deep and the free throw line, they're not going to get it done that way. But Bucknell, this is a team in a defense that I think is going to struggle quite a bit in this matchup. I could see a breakout performance from Boston's offense in this one. Bucknell struggled down the stretch of their non-conference schedule. They lost to some tough teams in Richmond and Rutgers. But then you play your first Patriot League game against Holy Cross, a team that could be in the bottom of the standings in the Patriot League this season. And even though it's a road game, you just can't lose that type of matchup. You lose it outright 60-58. And I just don't like the form that Bucknell's in, especially because their offense is starting to struggle quite a bit from where we saw at the beginning of the season when they were making a lot of their tough shots. I think they continue to regress, and I think Boston U has a breakout performance. Give me Boston U in this one. And the final game we're going to go over for Monday's card in college basketball. It's in the MAAC between Mount St. Mary's and Canisius. This one 3 o'clock Eastern on ESPN3. I do think Canisius is a lot better than its current record. They've only got 2 wins on the season, and they're on a big-time losing streak. But when you look at their strength of schedule, 50th ranked in the country, a lot of road games against some really tough teams, like a lot of top 200 teams, Cornell, Buffalo, Siena, and even some top 100 teams like Iona, Toledo, and Penn State. They play pretty competitive down the stretch in their most recent games against Florida Gulf Coast and Rider. That's a very good FGCU team that I think with Liberty got to be the top 2 teams in the ASUN this year. And then Rider, we know, has played pretty well this season in non-conference play. So to only lose those games by a combined 5 points, you know that they're improving quite a bit. I think this Canisius defense is a lot better than what we're seeing thus far in terms of the points per game allowed. But I think they're forcing a lot of tough shots for their opposition. Pretty decent team in terms of forcing turnovers. They're a good offensive rebounding team as well. And Mount St. Mary's is nothing, special in my opinion offensively. Ranked 290th in the country in adjusted offensive efficiency. They turn the ball over a ton, 307 in the nation in turnover percentage on offense. Not a good 2-point field goal shooting team. And sure, they've had success from the perimeter, but on the road here on your third straight road game, you're on a 3-game losing streak. I don't really like your chance. I think Canisius grabs a win in this game and a cover as well. Get their first conference W of the year. So give me Canisius laying the points. And that's it. Those are the games for Monday, January 2nd. Hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe. And don't forget to put your college basketball picks in the comments section below. Again, if you're looking for my best bets, you can find those at Pick Dawgz Premium. As always, this is Ron Romanelli. Good luck.